Hello, I'm Jonasz Rewiński and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. Now, while the civilized world competes in technology and innovation, in the Belarusian sanctuary of socialism, they continue to hone the art of sycophancy. During Alexander Lukashenko's latest visit at a fish processing plant, an incident occurred that perfectly illustrates the state of the modern Belarusian power structure. You see, an employee of the Belarusian National Biotechnology Corporation decided that routine reports on production successes were not enough. To prove the quality of the products and his unwavering loyalty to the self-proclaimed president, the man took a radical step. He began eating fish feed straight from a tray while being filmed by television cameras. Even Lukashenko himself, accustomed to spectacles of this sort, exclaimed ironically not to eat that stuff. However, the initiator of the performance, maintaining an expression of utmost seriousness, continued to chew the pellets thoroughly, demonstrating his willingness to consume anything on command or simply for the sake of approving glance from above.
Небольшой специалист.
Даже вот посмотрите, вот за рыба за. Он вкуснее. Я не буду скрывать, вот даже так для демонстрации, вот, даже съем сейчас.
Не надо есть.
Ну, один съем.
Что не хватало?
Карпом станет.
Шулейка, давай пусть шулейка.
Now, what was supposed to be a quality control check turned into a grim spectacle of personal degradation. When a person eats animal feed just to please a dictator, it's a clear sign that something is not entirely right. I mean, okay, fish food is not inherently toxic, so the man is unlikely to suddenly depart for the great hereafter, or to turn into some Lovecraftian human-fish hybrid. However, there is still risk of allergies or food poisoning related to lower safety standards. Still, I guess everyone was lucky that the visit was not to, say, a potato farm, and the incident did not involve a bag of fresh fertilizer. The International Energy Agency has released a report that should have the Kremlin popping open bottles of fine champagne, while raising uncomfortable questions for the rest of the world. Russia's oil export revenues nearly doubled in March, from $9.75 billion in February to a substantial $19 billion. Now, this financial success was the result of a perfect storm. First, the war in Iran sent global oil prices skyrocketing. Second, Donald Trump gave Moscow a royal gift by easing US sanctions for a month. It was a limited relief, true enough, but a relief nonetheless, and Moscow embraced this unexpected gift with glee. However, not everything is rosy over at Putin's little oil kingdom. While global prices were rising, actual export volumes were actually declining in Russia. You see, Ukrainian strikes on Russian ports in the Baltic and the Black Seas proved more effective than any diplomatic note could ever do. Operations at the terminals have been regularly turning into a fire show, causing maritime shipments to drop to their lowest level since last August. Okay, so here is another interesting detail. The volume of oil sitting in tankers at sea has plummeted by 33 million barrels. This was a direct result of that same one-month window granted by the US, which allowed for a quick sell-off of inventories while Uncle Sam turned a blind eye. Now, it has been reported that the United States has officially reinstated the sanctions after the temporary suspension expired on the 12th of April. This means that Russia once again finds itself in a situation where oil is available and prices are high, but exporting it is becoming increasingly difficult, whether due to the pressure of sanctions or yet another unidentified flying object paying a visit to a Russian oil depot. The windfall in March was not the result of Russian economists' genius, but rather a coincidence involving Iranian missiles and American concessions. Now that the window of opportunity has closed and Ukrainian drones continue their port infrastructure tour, the Russians may once again have to tighten their belts. In his interview with the TASS agency, pro-Russian Kherson Governor Vladimir Saldo cheerfully reported that by the end of 2025, over 250,000 tourists had visited the Kherson region, illegally occupied by Russia. This figure looks impressive if one ignores the fact that the difficult operational situation the collaborator casually mentions is a full-scale war involving minefields, constant airstrikes, that sort of thing.
Конечно, знаете, сама территория с благоприятными климатическими условиями, большой протяженностью береговой полосы Азовского моря, Черного моря, вот, она привлекает к себе внимание и туристов, и отдыхающих. Мало того, там созданы условия для курортно-санаторного лечения. Более 1500 мест только для размещения, объектов, прошу прощения, для размещения отдыхающих в Херсонской области на побережье расположена. Большая часть, конечно, сейчас из них пока что не может принимать гостей, но, тем не менее, бизнес, знаете, даже в таких вот условиях, он находит возможности для того, чтобы действовать. В прошлом году, как бы там ни было, более 250 тысяч официальных туристов в Херсонской области побывали. Ну, из них, подчеркиваю, те, кто едет в Крым, на полуостров, по пути, естественно, интересно посмотреть, что есть в Херсонской области. Ну, а есть и целенаправленно те, которые приезжают в Херсонскую область.
Now, a logical question arises here. Who are these 250,000 adventure seekers? Presumably, the tourism figures automatically included everyone traveling on the region's roads in camouflage, on tanks, or in trucks bearing the letter Z. After all, it's hard to imagine a mother with children, for example, choosing a coastal destination for her summer vacation where instead of beach umbrellas, there are anti-tank obstacles, and instead of the cries of seagulls, you get the sound of air defense systems. But while Saldo paints a picture of a resort revival for Moscow journalists, the real Kherson on the left bank is suffocating under a humanitarian catastrophe. The situation is particularly dire in the occupied town of Oleshki. Instead of the promised tourist paradise, the residents of Oleshki were left with scorched earth. The town, which has not yet recovered from the aftermath of the bombing of the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant, remains cut off from the outside world. It is estimated that of the nearly 40,000 residents who lived there before the full-scale invasion, no more than 6,000 people remain in the community today. The town is facing a critical shortage of drinking water, a lack of reliable electricity and gas supplies, and limited access to medical care. The truth is that real tourism will return to the Kherson region only when the difficult operational situation ends, with the liberation of the territories by their rightful owners, namely Ukraine. For now, Saldo's reports are an attempt to cover up the smell of ashes. Also, with Iranian drones recently wreaking havoc in places like Dubai, let's hope this is not the new normal for tourism. Some sunbathing here, some enemy drone action there, you know. Russia and its allies love pretending that they can become adept at any and all economic activities and ventures known to man. But let's face it, the two things these countries can really do is exporting energy and terrorism. And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news, updates and commentary.